Hello, and welcome to session 3 of our Understanding the Testing and Maintenance of Batteries, Lead, Acid, and Beyond. Battery energy storage systems BESS are now embedded in critical infrastructure, substations, data centers, hospitals, microgrids, and commercial facilities. As deployments scale, two questions dominate. First, how do we maintain these systems so they perform reliably over 10 to 20 years? Second, how do we keep workers, first responders, and the public safe throughout that life cycle? A robust program for stationary batteries and energy storage systems is built around four mutually reinforcing pillars: a formal electrical maintenance program, EMP, as required by NFPA 70B, using predetermined, condition based, and predictive techniques with strong documentation and periodic audits. A robust electrical safety program aligned with NFPA 70E, covering risk assessments, arc flash and shock protection boundaries, energized work controls, PPE, and training. Fire and system safety controls consistent with NFPA 855 and UL 9540 and 9540A, including ventilation, gas detection, fire detection and suppression, separation distances, and thermal runaway mitigation. Chemistry specific maintenance practices for lead acid, nickel cadmium, lithium ion, flow, and high temperature batteries that respect manufacturer instructions and preserve system certifications. Properly executed, this integrated approach reduces the risk of shock, arc flash, thermal runaway, fire, and toxic exposure, improves asset health and availability, and supports compliance with safety regulations and authorities having jurisdiction. Battery energy storage system hazards are multidisciplinary. Electrical hazards include shock, electrocution, arc flash, and arc blast. Chemical hazards that include corrosive electrolytes such as sulfuric acid, potassium hydroxide, flammable solvents, and toxic off gases. Thermal and fire hazards such as overheating, thermal runaway, fire spread between cells modules, and explosion. Systemic hazards like control failures, communication loss, defective protective settings, or unsafe work practices. Historically, battery maintenance was often treated as a narrow reliability function, for example, keep the UPS batteries alive. In modern battery energy storage systems, maintenance and safety are inseparable. Poor maintenance, such as disabled fans, loose terminations, outdated firmware, escalates safety risk. Inadequate safety controls like missing lockout tagout, no gas detection expose workers during routine maintenance. Changes made during repairs can inadvertently break system level safety certification, for example, UL 9540 listing. It is recommended that energy storage systems be treated as safety critical electrical equipment, subject to the same rigor applied to switchgear, substations, and process safety systems. Standards and regulatory framework. NFPA 70E, Electrical Safety in the Workplace. NFPA 70E defines safe work practices to protect workers from electric shock, electrocution, arc flash, and arc blast during installation, operation, maintenance, and demolition of electrical equipment. Key implications for battery storage systems include electrical safety program with documented procedures, responsibilities, and training. Shock and arc flash risk assessments for battery and energy storage system rooms, inverters, switchgear, and associated circuits. establishment of approach boundaries and arc flash boundaries with labeling, energized work controls, de-energize wherever possible, energized work only when justified and authorized, PPE selection based on incident energy, or the PPE category method, use of properly rated test equipment and insulated tools. OSHA frequently cites NFPA 70E as the primary consensus standard for electrical safety and utilization systems, making 70E aligned programs highly influential in enforcement. NFPA 70B, electrical equipment maintenance. NFPA 70B, updated effective January 2023, transitioned from a recommended practice to a mandatory standard for electrical equipment maintenance. It now lays out requirements for establishing and maintaining an electrical maintenance program, EMP. Core themes include create a documented electrical maintenance program that covers asset inventory, criticality, maintenance methods, intervals, and record keeping. Emphasize predetermined, condition based, and predictive maintenance techniques backed by modern diagnostics and digitalization. Define maintenance intervals and system study intervals for key electrical assets tailored to the environment and duty cycle. For battery energy storage systems, NFPA 70B implies batteries, inverters, transformers, circuit breakers, relays, and protective devices must be treated as part of the facility's electrical maintenance program rather than as isolated vendor packages. Maintenance activities must not compromise safety and shall be coordinated with NFPA 70E controls. NFPA 855, installation of stationary energy storage systems. NFPA 855 provides minimum requirements for mitigating hazards associated with stationary energy storage systems, including battery systems, and is referenced by NFPA 1 Fire Code and the International Fire Code. NFPA 855 addresses system size thresholds and technology specific chapters, for example, lithium ion, fire detection and suppression provisions, separation distances, fire resistance ratings, and maximum allowable quantities in rooms and outdoor enclosures. Ventilation and gas detection for toxic and flammable gases, and hazard mitigation analyses, including consideration of thermal runaway and toxic gases. While primarily an installation standard, NFPA 855 has direct implications for maintenance. First, maintenance must preserve the conditions under which the system was installed and approve, for example, no ad hoc venting changes, no packing storage in rooms that violate separation requirements. And second, any changes affecting fire protection, layout, or capacity may trigger reevaluation by the authority having jurisdiction. UL 9540 and UL 9540A, System Safety and Fire Propagation Testing. UL 9540 is the system level safety standard for energy storage systems and equipment electrochemical, mechanical, chemical, or thermal, ensuring components function safely together and can be installed without undue risk. UL 9540A is the test method for evaluating thermal runaway fire propagation and the resulting fire explosion hazards in battery energy storage system at the cell, module, unit, and installation levels. NFPA 855 and related fire codes explicitly reference UL 9540 and UL 9540A. In many jurisdictions, energy storage systems over certain energy thresholds must be certified to UL 9540 and tested to UL 9540A to be accepted by the authority having jurisdiction. For maintenance organizations, this means do not modify power, control, or protection hardware in ways that could invalidate UL 9540 listing or 9540A assumptions, for example, changing ventilation, fire protection schemes, or module spacing without re-engineering and reapproval. And maintenance documentation should explicitly reference how work preserves UL and NFPA compliance. Let's look at how to design a battery maintenance strategy. A battery energy storage system specific electrical maintenance program aligned with NFPA 70B should, at a minimum, cover first, asset inventory and criticality. Identify all battery strings, inverters, transformers, switchgear, protection devices, HVC, fire and gas detection equipment associated with the energy storage system. Classify criticality based on safety impact, system availability, and business continuity. Second, maintenance methods. Predetermined maintenance. This is time-based inspections, cleaning, torque checks, and functional tests. Condition-based maintenance, actions triggered by measured conditions, for example, cell impedance, temperature trends, gas detector alarms, or breaker operations. Predictive maintenance. This would include data analytics using battery management system telemetry, thermal imaging, and vibration for rotating equipment like pumps and flow batteries to anticipate failures. Third, intervals and task lists. Daily and shift checks, monthly and quarterly inspections, annual and multi-year testing, for example, capacity tests and protection coordination studies. Fourth, documentation and change control. Work orders, test reports, defect logs, and change logs that reference standards and the original design basis. And fifth, integration with safety programs. All tasks are linked to job safety planning and NFPA 70E requirements. Now, let's look at chemistry-specific maintenance themes. We will begin with lead acid batteries, vented lead acid, and valve-regulated lead acid. Focus areas. Visual inspections. Check for crack jars, electrolyte leakage, plate exposure, corrosion, and discoloration. Electrolyte management for vented lead acid types. Checking levels, topping up with deionized water, verifying specific gravity against temperature-corrected targets. Float and equalize charging. Verifying charger set points. Performing controlled equalized charges when recommended to prevent sulfation. And terminal integrity. Cleaning corrosion, verifying torque on inner cell connectors and bus connections. Safety-specific areas of focus. The use of acid-resistant PPE gloves, apron and face shield, eye wash, and neutralizing agents. Attention to hydrogen generation during charging, ventilation, and wiring of gas detectors as required. And the use of non-sparking tools and strict control of ignition sources in battery rooms. Next, let's look at chemistry-specific maintenance themes for nickel-cadmium batteries. Focus areas will include electrolyte level and clarity, check potassium hydroxide solution level, check for the absence of contamination or crystals, cell voltage and discharge performance, trending for early detection of degradation or imbalance. Check vent caps and flame arresters, ensuring they're clean and functional. Safety specifics. Use alkali resistant PPE and develop emergency procedures for caustic spills. Maintain attention to hydrogen generation during charging, ventilation, and wiring of gas detectors as required. Lithium ion battery energy storage systems rely more on electronic and control integrity than on hands on work within the battery modules. Important focus areas include battery management system health and data review, monitor cell, module voltage, and temperature spread, review state of charge distribution and balancing performance, check state of health estimates and alarm history, thermal management focus. This involves verifying fans, pumps, filters, and heat exchangers, and ensuring unobstructed airflow and proper set points. Important focus areas continued: protection and controls. Conduct periodic testing of contactors, DC disconnects, and protective relays. Firmware and cybersecurity patch management following vendor guidance. Mechanical and environmental areas of focus. Inspecting cabinets and containers for water ingress, corrosion, and physical damage, and verifying that clearances and separation distances remain as designed, NFPA 855. When dealing with lithium ion energy storage systems, hands on work inside modules is typically limited to OEM service. Moving on, we will look at chemistry specific maintenance themes for flow batteries. Focus areas will include electrolyte management, checking levels, tank integrity, and sampling as required by the manufacturer. Fluid handling, check pump condition, conduct filter changes, leak detection, hose and valve inspections. Power stacks. This will involve current and voltage measurements to ensure uniform flow and absence of hot spots. Safety specifics areas of focus include checking chemical compatibility, PPE, and spill containment based on electrolyte chemistry, and ventilation and gas monitoring where electrolytes can off gas toxic or corrosive vapors. The next chemistry we will look at will be sodium sulfur high temperature batteries. Focus areas for high temperature batteries will include heater and insulation integrity. This involves maintaining the design operating temperature and monitoring for cold spots that could damage cells. Containment systems. You must ensure that any breach detection systems are functional. Power and control systems. This involves rigorous functional checks given the high energy density and elevated temperature. Safety specifics focus areas for high temperature batteries include a strict adherence to vendor access and cool down procedures, no unauthorized penetration of hot enclosures, utilization of enhanced PPE and emergency response readiness due to molten or highly reactive materials. And that will conclude session 3 of our Understanding the Testing and Maintenance of Batteries, Lead Acid, and Beyond training series. In our next session, we will begin with safe work practices for battery systems.